It's weird to think it was only 3 years ago when the House Republican Party itself took steps to ostracize proud white nationalist Congressman Steve King of Iowa. King never failed to come up with new and inventive ways to be racist. He once riffed poetically about the cantaloupe-sized calf muscles of pot-hauling Mexicans. King eventually made just too many comments like this one.
If you go down the road a few generations or maybe centuries with the intermarriage, I'd like to see an America that's just so homogenous that we look a lot the same. This is an effort on the left, I think, to break down the American civilization and the American culture and turn it into something entirely different. I'm a champion for Western civilization.
King was eventually punished and essentially excommunicated from the party by the party. But Republican leaders have of late developed quite a tolerance for intolerance. Listen to these insightful, pithy observations on the notion of reparations for the descendants of slaves from Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama.
They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparation because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. Bullshit.
Openly, hideously, shamelessly racist. And the response from Republican leaders has been, why? How did this happen? Who invited all these extremists into the grand old party? Will you unequivocally condemn David Duke and say that you don't want his vote or that of other white supremacists in this election?
Well, just so you understand, I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists.
In her new book, the New York Times' Maggie Haberman writes that after that exchange happened here on CNN in 2016, Chris Christie warned Trump he needed to distance himself from white supremacists. Trump basically said, sure, but not right now. Why? Because, Trump said, quote, a lot of these people vote. A lot of these people vote. These extremist views are making the American experiment difficult to achieve. How can you work on legislation with someone who pushes messaging and seems to subscribe to QAnon, a group that accuses Democrats of being part of a satanic, pedophilic cult that eats babies? They cast their political opponents not just as wrong, but as evil. And that's how you get this. January 6, 2021. Forget defunding the police. This is physically assaulting the police. And Trump is promising the insurrectionists full pardons if he gets reelected. He's embracing that extremism. He's embracing that extremist violence. So is there an antidote for this polarizing poison that has already seeped into our everyday lives? One study I read today says yes, but it won't be easy. It will require politicians, quote, to stop using divisive, demonizing us versus them language is key. To say, I'm going to govern on behalf of everyone, and to try to unify around universal values, unquote. And you know, there was a time when that kind of behavior by a political candidate was not impossible to imagine.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No?
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues.
Republican Senator and presidential nominee John McCain took that woman's microphone. Political leaders today in the Republican Party seem more inclined to turn up the volume.